It is a pleasure for Boutique Mice Business to be today with Mr. PIERRE, Chief Academic Officer of Sommet Education. Sommet Education, unique, distinctive education group specializing in hospitality management and culinary arts. Good morning, Pierre. How are you today?
Good morning, Irene. Very well, thanks.
Well, thank you very much for your time. And please, Dr. IHMLE, could you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Sure, with pleasure. So my name is PIERRE, as you said. I'm the Chief Academic Officer of Sommet Education, which is a group composed of three big brands, Glion, Les Roches, and École Ducasse. And then as a Chief Academic Officer, I'm in charge of programs, developing new ones, maintaining existing one, and of course increasing and working on the student experience to make sure that they get a great experience, not only from an education point of view, but also from a personal point of view by joining one of these three great brands.
That's absolutely great. And Sommet Education, beside having the three brands, that it's the only education network ranked with two of the institutions, Les Roches and Glion Institute of Higher Education, as the top three in the world. It's also a multinational corporate education group with campuses in Switzerland, Spain, China, United Kingdom, and France. So could you give us, please, an introduction on Sommet Education as a brand and the pivotal role that it plays within the global hospitality industry, Dr. IHMLE?
Well, sure. In general, I mean, our mission is a mission education, obviously, to deliver, if I can say, great education, to create, if you want, and then to transform students in great leaders. So our mission is to make essentially the world a better place, more hospitable and more graceful place, if you can allow me this. So that's our mission. It's pretty unique indeed, because we're dealing with so beautiful brands that we have on our portfolio. And we're striving for excellence in what we do. Again, as I said, education, be it in hospitality management, be it in luxury management, be it in culinary arts with École Ducasse, which is a recent acquisition in the group.
That's very interesting, the words that you mentioned: deliver, create, transform, graceful, and excellence. Those are ingredients that, together with an elite education and together with award winners, instructors, will be obviously the best or one of the top three in the world to prepare those future leaders for the hospitality industry. What are the priorities as a Chief Academic Officer for you within your agenda on the 2021 edition, Dr. IHMLE, please?
Well, that's an interesting question as the world has changed, right? With the COVID, at least we don't know how long it's going to last. In general, what we do, I mean, as a mission is to, as I said, student at the center. They come and want an education. So this is first. Second, we develop programs, bachelor programs, master programs, MBA programs, and we think about all these programs as a portfolio. We have a very special kind of students coming to our group. First of all, it's students that come all over the place, very international, very multicultural. That's one. Second, about 50% of our students in general, be it bachelors or masters, come from families that have businesses, are entrepreneurial, have an entrepreneurial spirit. So we need to take care of that. They're very interested in hospitality, and they're very outgoing. They like luxury, and they like to find a great job, be it in their family businesses, create new jobs, join big groups. So essentially, what we do is to create programs that they like. And that's bringing not only a great education, but a great experience. So we're focusing, strangely enough, as an education provider very much on the experience of the students as well. So we want to make sure that all three, if you want, dimensions are covered. These dimensions are to make sure that they embedded into practice, because you learn by doing. Great academics to make sure that they understand what is happening and can embed that as great transferable skills, because I mean, we all know that in our careers we'll do 3, 5, 10 different jobs, for different companies and so forth, and then soft skills. So we put a lot of emphasis on soft skills, which is very typical for the hospitality industry, of course. And soft skills is about interpersonal skills, teamwork, knowledge about yourself, how do you behave, and how can you improve yourself as being a manager and a good citizen of the world. So 3 dimensions, embedding and immersion in practice. It's important. Great academics and great development of soft skills are important in all the programs that we develop. And of course, we want to reach out to as many students as possible that are interested in the type of education that we provide with our group.
That's extremely interesting, Dr. IHMLE, what you said as a Chief Academic Officer of Sommet Education Corporate Group. You have students, millennium learners, career climbers, as you said, and people coming from families in general that have already shown at home what they will take to the next level and develop further with Sommet Education institutions, students coming from more than 100 countries, and education built on a Swiss model base, which is very important in terms of what you just mentioned, the dynamic learning and the multicultural exposure and skills. So please, let's talk about your new alternatives. You also mentioned what we try to avoid, which is the COVID, but we cannot ignore it. It is a reality. It's not the end. I think it's going to be a crisis that at the end, hopefully, after every crisis, we can look back and take it as an opportunity. But it is true that we have to adapt ourselves, our lives, and our work to a new era, a new situation that it's sadly very devastating, but hopefully very motivating afterwards. So please tell us about your initiative, your phygital initiative, Le Roche Glion Connect. Dr. IHMLE, please.
So before we do this, because I think you cannot, you said it in a very good way. In fact,
Thank you.
This is there to stay. At least for, we don't know, probably a year, 2 years, and it has made big changes in the industry in general. I mean, hospitality industry, but also in the education industry. What happened in March when many countries, but it's true for Switzerland, Spain, when governments decided that face-to-face teaching was not allowed anymore, we had to switch. We saw it coming. So maybe my answer is going to be a bit long, Irene, but let me kind of build on it.
Yes, please.
So suddenly we decided to, make sure that the students continue and progress. Hence, we delivered all our classes in a remote fashion. It was quite a challenge at the beginning for faculty. Although we trained faculty, we saw it coming, but it came so quickly that we had all to adapt. Students had to adapt, faculty had to adapt, institution had to adapt to the new situation, and then build and create new tools. So essentially what happened is, and then because you say these are opportunities, at the beginning, of course, change is difficult. And then I would say after a month, some students were just very surprised at the quality of what the delivery was of different courses, engagement of faculty, because that's what we do, right? We have a very personalized type of approach to teaching, and then it continued online. That's one. Second, we did more for the students than just teaching, because we created a big series, which you call the leadership series. leading hospitality through turbulent times, where we invited experts from the industry, from business school, IMD, other business school, Oxford Business School, and so forth, to talk to our students.
Very interesting.
So we made sure that the students were essentially getting a feedback from industry, from different actors on what was happening there, because it was, we thought, a historical moment. So we wanted to make sure that students got that. That's one. Second, what we did is we offered to all our students the online courses that we developed. We've developed a few online courses that are running on a platform which is called FutureLearn. And FutureLearn is a platform just like Coursera or edX, and then this was offered to all students. And we were just amazed by the enthusiasm of students to get this, and then get these additional certificates that they could add and put on their CVs. So we had a certificate on revenue management, one on hotel valuation, one on spa excellence, one on spa profitability, and we had something like 5,500 students following those courses.
Wow, that many? That's a sign that, as you said, overcoming obstacles and dealing with objections and stress management is part of the day-to-day life. Of course, we're talking about a huge health and economic crisis, but also the world is united. In Sommet education, it has always been like that, because you have the institutions where more than 100 nationalities are together, but in this case, as you mentioned, with those initiatives that please develop further, besides saying the high amount of those motivated students attending to your online courses, it is impressive, and I am sure this is going to make our readers and the international MICE community understand that the world does not stop, and those at the forefront of the development, in this case of the hospitality management education, are creating new ways to keep on developing and advancing towards the next level.
Exactly, and then you've got to put the students at the center. That's very important. They liked it, and we were surprised, just to say it, that so many students were interested in doing these certificates that were meant for, it was more kind of, what we call in French formation continue, so continuing education type of, but they were accessible to this type of students, and these were certificates that were delivered also with a facilitator and so forth. But it was a huge success. That's one. The leadership series on leading hospitality through turbulent times was a big success as well. So, and then it delivered a certificate in the end. So based on that, we decided that we should think differently, and then that's why, coming back to your question, we developed what we call the BBA Connect.
Yes.
What we realize, and we all know that students are not in a position, and some of them, to travel back to the campuses when the face-to-face teaching starts again. So we have an intake now in 2 weeks' time, 2.5 weeks' time, on October 12th. Some students, particularly in Asia, are still kind of not very eager to travel, or their families don't want to travel. So we had to think about the way to provide them an education online that is very specific here. This is specific for the bachelor program. There's something special about the bachelor program. It's the first semester. Mm-hmm. In Lyon and Les Roches, the first semester is special because it's an immersion type of semester where the students come on campus, get to know the campus, get to know the environment. It's new to them, new students, first semester of the bachelor's. And it's an immersion in practical arts, gastronomy, service, front desk, back of the house, and so forth.
I know, I've been there and done that. It is the introduction to the industry.
Maybe the purpose... Yeah, sorry. What is interesting in this program is, in fact, it's an immersion. We don't want to make... cuisine chefs, we don't want to make maître d'. It's not that type of education, but we want the students, and then as you've been through that, probably you lived it, it's to learn about those different functions that one day you would lead as a hotel manager, as a boutique hotel manager, as an F&B kind of catering, and so forth. So you essentially have to understand what the trade is to be a good leader. And this was the purpose. That's one purpose. The second purpose is to get to know your colleagues that are coming, as you said, from 100 different nationalities all over the place, and then get into this multicultural environment that is provided by the Swiss type of education that we provide here in hospitality. So essentially what we decided is to do something very special for the students that couldn't travel. So what we have and what we do for them is a program which is, we can call it digital, we can call it blended, we call it connect. So it's 10 weeks.
10 weeks?
Remote. 10 weeks remote. So from October to Christmas, 10 weeks, the students will do essentially practical arts in a remote way, which might seem maybe at first a bit, how should I say, how do you do it, right? And then 10 weeks on campus.
10 weeks on
so
campus.
They would have, in a sense, they would have, in today's world, the best of what is possible. They would be essentially with experts. So we've selected experts from Lyon and Les Roches because the students would get experts in bar, experts in gastronomy, pastry, wine, rooms division, and then we've prepared a custom-made program for them. It's different from the program that we were running, say in March or April, where everybody went remote. Here it's a construction. Teaching online a course is different because you need to make sure that students are autonomous, they know how to learn, they need to understand that the material is there and it cannot be necessarily repeated, right? So a faculty needs to construct material in a way, in such a way that it's self-contained. So we created fantastic videos, and maybe we should show you some of them about it's on, it's not only about cooking, as we said, right? It's about understanding the context. It's about understanding the history of, say, a cocktail, of a recipe. It's about also, that's for one piece. The other piece is, for example, rooms division is to, for example, use Opera, but as a e-learning solution of Opera, so that students understand how to use the property management system in that way. So it's also immersing them in a new world of where these things will happen probably remotely as well. So we constructed a online piece, and then when students come on campus, they will be ready. One, because they work as a cohort. Second, they will be always connected to their campus. So they would know about some of the students, they would know about faculty, they would think about internship. Hopefully we get internship back in March, because for the moment it's a bit complicated in the industry. They will be essentially following activities with students, because I said experience is important. So it's not only about education, it's about being together. It's about enjoying, be some sort of many students say they're part of a big family. Lyon family, the Roche family. So we want to convey that as much as possible, even if they are remote.
Of course.
And when they arrive on campus, it's not a surprise anymore to be there, right? It's they know the location. They would have met with some of their colleagues. They would have already online, and they would be ready. For example, they would have done a e-opera, but at the same time, we would like them to be at the reception of our campuses to kind of train that again, or into some of our mock-up receptions to do the training. They would be in a kitchen again. They would do gastronomy type of kitchen. They would be serving. They would be in contact with real clients. I mean, all these pieces that make the experience. So that's why we wanted to provide students an opportunity to join us, even if they couldn't or were not comfortable traveling. Hence the BBA Connect, 2 parts, 10 weeks online, 10 weeks face-to-face.
Total of 20 weeks, making, as you said, a preparation, combining technology, but without losing the excellence and the delivering of exceptional education that you provide not only for essential departments such as food and beverage room division, but also on a learning level, developing innovating tools that will allow the students, one, that they are on the field or on the spot, to familiarize and put together, as you said, those important tools, skills, and experiences once they come out to the real world. I mean, out of the education and back to the leadership, because within 5 years, the latest, the more than 100 nationalities studying in Sommet education institutions become managers and even higher positions within the global hospitality industry. That's extremely interesting, and I am very sure it's going to be also very motivating for our readers and for meeting professionals international that will have access to this interview with you, Dr. PIERRE. There is a very interesting partnership that Sommet Education has with the World Tourism Organization that will grant 30 scholarship to world-class education and support the career in order to also develop themselves for this and their projects for this to help to drive everybody, since they are the future leaders, to this tourism recovery. So please, Pierre, could you be so kind and briefly tell us about this strategic partnership with UNWTO, please?
Well, thanks. Yeah, that's a good one. In fact, we do have had in the past already kind of relationship through Marbella, for example, the campus in Marbella, a kind of close relationship to the UNWTO. It is about time to put it at a kind of group level. So what we decided to do, seeing the difficulty that the industry is currently experiencing and the different actors that are, be it kind of industry themselves, education actors, and so forth, we decided to go to a partnership with UNWTO that is composed of two main parts. First part is we will provide and make our content, online content, available through the UNWTO platform. That's one. So the online courses that we've got that we're running currently on Futureland will be there. Some other material that we have online so that people can continue to study and progress while I shouldn't say they have time, but at least they have probably motivation to further their careers. So this is available. So that's one part. The second part, we decided to have a competition open to everybody interested. And the Sommet Education is going to deliver scholarships. So we're going to deliver 30 scholarships to the winners, to the 30 best projects that will be submitted to the UNWTO challenge, and that's one. And within that, we will select through our investor called Euraseo the 3 best entrepreneurial projects that will be financed through the Euraseo fund. So it's essentially a entrepreneurial, innovation, sustainability are the topics of interest, technology are the topics of interest in general that would be applied to different dimensions. First dimension is about luxury, goods and services, F&B, hotel operations, and let's call it smart real estate. So we've got 4 main dimensions in which projects have been collected, and there will be on end of October, I think it's on October 30, a first announcements of those winners.
On October 30, it will be the announcement by Sommet Education of the winners that made the most ingenious projects within this initiative.
We will kind of select 30 finalists, right? Those that will then go into the competition to receive financial support from Euraseo in the end.
And a motivational recognition for this ingenious initiative, and congratulations, frankly, because this it's something that will provide creativity, ways, and sorry?
Oh, Iran, just a piece of information. We've received something like 550 different projects.
Wow. And those projects are going to be selected, and then out of the 30 winners, it will be only one winner, right?
There will be 30 people who are going to receive scholarships, and that's one, and then 3 winners will receive an investment into the project.
Wow! Congratulations! Frankly, it is really. I would like to compete. I would like to compete, but I'm too old now. Okay, fantastic, Pierre. What is the way forward for Sommet Education Business Group, educational institution? How do you see, as a chief academic officer of Sommet Education, the way forward? I don't know, within the next 2 to 3, 4 years max. How do you see the evolution of the group? The developments that will take place shortly, or would you like to see as the academic officer?
Yeah. Thanks for the question. What we've said from the onset is that we wish to grow. We wish to
even
have
more,
even more top position. Well, not growth and quantity and quality goes hand in hand in education, because if you grow, there's more opportunities for students. First of all, to go from one campus to the next, because you said that we were in Spain, UK, Switzerland. We have campuses also in China, so students can go from one campus to the other. So when we grow, it increases the number of opportunities, it increases the exposure to students, increases the visibility, it helps attract better faculty, better we have more contacts with industry, partnerships, and so forth. So growth has a value. So it's a growth in quantity, but also it almost naturally there's a growth in quality. So there's a growth that we would like to pursue and maintain. We've got great programs. There's a number of dimensions that we would like to develop even more. For example, for Glion, around the luxury, luxury in general, luxury hospitality. Les Roches is developing around entrepreneurship, innovation, sustainability. École Ducasse we just acquired École Ducasse, so it's essentially creating a here group, and the intention is also to develop internationally. Ducasse as a school system is mostly present in France. Would like to essentially develop and offer the type of programs, French pastry, French gastronomy, and different programs to essentially new locations, new places. So there's a growth component to it. There's a development of programs that is intended, depending on location, depending on needs, depending on the fit. So essentially, we're creating what we call portfolio of programs. So bachelor, master programs, MBA program. We will increase depending on means and needs, our capacity in terms of technology as well, capacity of technology delivery, online delivery. So there's essentially a plan for the future to go and then continue what we've started to do 4 or 5 years ago already. So we continue on the growth phase, hopefully that and hoping that the industry will recover as well, to provide great jobs and great internships for our students.
This is a very important last point that you said. I hope the industry continue to provide jobs, because Sommet Education institutions, besides being top ranked among the world's top hospitality management institution, also has been ranked between the top 3 employer education. Meaning, what I mean is, like, I've been and I could see, and I am talking from my experience, at Lyon Institute of Higher Education, leading brands. Leading brands are looking for leading people. Leading people are gathering expertise and knowledge in this type of institutions. As an institution, you provide the resources, and then the leading companies will go to take your students and provide them with the real work experience within their multinational hotel groups and other companies related to the industry, not necessarily uniquely hotels, because there are other industries such as the MICE industry, which is extremely related to the hospitality industry. And talking about the future, if you think about it, there are so many industries that deep inside are not just exclusively a hotel or a travel agency or a corporate hospitality group that are dealing constantly within our industry. Be it so many. So thank you very much, and let me cover a little bit about the MICE industry, the meeting, incentive, conference, and exhibition, very related to the hospitality, global hospitality, and obviously with the preparations that you provide to your Millennium learners. How do you see the meeting and convention industry? You know, it generates over $1 trillion, and it employs more than 20 million people. So what solutions can Sommet Education offer to this essential segment? I mean, corporate tourism, business travelers within the hospitality industry, Seb.
Well, in that case, I think there's, as you said, there's a strong link between hospitality and the MICE industry. This is very obvious. Many of our students are interested in event management, project management, either small, big. I think this is something which is essentially a natural industry for our students to go to, and I don't see there's a big difference between MICE and hospitality. I guess it's in a sense it's
a segment within
skills.
The industry. Yes,
it's a segment in the industry. So I think our students would be are interested in the MICE industry. In general, for example, if you think Lyon has a specialization in the bachelor's, which is around event. So we've got in the last semester, so it's semester 7. Semester 7 has a specialization that students can choose. That is around events, use of technologies, project management. Of course, what is at the center is exactly the same thing. What is the center in MICE as for hospitality is the client experience in the end, which matters. Seamless, the best possible experience. Hotels, F&B, catering, you name it. I mean, this is something that our students know how to do. They have the skills, they have the competences, be it from a technical point of view, let's put it this way, or a personal point of view, soft skills point of view, to be, I think, good players. And I'm pretty sure, Ilan, you're an example. I'm pretty sure there's many others.
I take it as a compliment, Pierre. I take it as a compliment. Merci beaucoup.
So I think it's essentially students that are coming out of an institution are equipped for the MICE industry as well, as a subsegment. Luxury, boutique, small events, big events, project management, I think they've got the skills, because one of the things which is very special about our students, and this is different from, say, a student that comes out of a, say, finance background or from a management background from a kind of more traditional type of universities, because our students are already operational when they get out of their studies, because they've learned it, they've seen it, they've been on internship, they are trained, they have been with friends and colleagues from all over the world, they've been doing group work, they've done presentation, they've interacted with CEOs and experts when they come on campus, they're doing, and besides their studies, all of them, and probably was the case of you in students' committees, students' group, where they're acting at different roles, being, let's say, the CEO or the director of this committee. Could be a sports committee, could be a music, photography, wine tasting, entrepreneurship type of committees, where you often have someone who takes care of the communication, takes care about the finance and so forth. So they're essentially exposing themselves through their studies to faculty, experts, colleagues from all over the world, 100 nationalities. Have been on traveling. They will be well traveled. They have been on 2 internships at the bachelor's, 1 internship for the master's. So they're directly operational. So they can work as a team member rapidly, much more so than traditional type of curricula as you would find them in say universities like finance management and so forth, even business schools.
Exactly.
So I think this is the big thing about this type of students, I think.
And I can guarantee you that if you go to a regular, let's say like that, a school without the excellence that provides Sommet Education institution, it would be simply a university. Then once that you get out of the college, you will have to learn from the scratch. What Sommet Education institutions, Le Roche Guillon Institute of Higher Education, as well as your other education in France, the other education institution in France, does, it is a factory of talent. It is an innovative incubator. It is a place that it works beside a learning institution, one of the best in the world, top 3, also as a platform for them to put hand in work before they go out and actually doing, and of course as well with practical work through the in-trainings that are required in order to get the graduation within this elite hospitality education institutions that Summit Education has under their portfolio. Okay, fantastic. So, sir, would you like to highlight any points that we have missed, besides, please, a message to encourage the community and especially the upcoming new students that will certainly would love to join your institutions after listening to your smart words? And any message or any points that you would like to include that we have missed, Dr. Pierre?
Well, there would be many things. I think what I would kind of tell people, they should come and see by themselves what it means. They should talk with people like you who have been kind of there in these schools and then know what it means. They've seen their careers and developing, and then I think that's what matters. And it's about education, but it's also about, should I call it fun? Should I call it a sense of being part of something, being part of a family? Get support through alumni, through friends, and it is kind of friendship that you can build in this. And again, I would like to come back to what we said. We always said that good institution educate, incredible institution transform, and it is kind of sense that the school should be more essentially help individuals transform, get their talents, get what they've got inside them, what they've learned, what they have, to make it even better. I think this is, in the end, the mission.
I am getting emotional. Because I'm recreating all what you said. It not only create the base, the very strong and solid base to become leaders, if you obviously know, therefore, that the business world is very competitive, and you will have to climb the ladder progressively with the ambition and the preparation that your institutions provides, but also you create a community, you create a family, and you create memories that will never be erased. At least I can guarantee you that after 21 years, I keep in touch with my teachers, with my colleagues, and obviously, if I would have to put a quote to finalize this interview, and you allowed me to do so, Dr. IHMLE, would be that Sommet education institutions are not hospitality management schools. They are life masters. Life masters with a specialization in one of the most competitive industries right now, which is the hospitality. So thank you very, very much for your time, for your experience, as has clearly been seen during the conversation, the interview. And we look forward to go and meet you personally very soon. So thank you very much, Pierre.
Thank you, Irene. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.
Ciao. Have a lovely day. Bye.
Bye-bye.